which leads us on now. Jake Matthews versus Diego Sanchez. A weird one on paper. I'll let you boys take it away. Zach, what have you got?
I mean, it's not really who do I have. It's just
how it happened.
I mean, I feel for it. Diego's like one of the guys that got me interested in the UFC. Watching him in The Ultimate Fighter, he's a fan favorite. Everybody loves him, but he's kind of. I mean, we got to talk about some, getting him some help with some potential brain damage here. He's calling out Conor McGregor after he says, I want to fight. He goes, I want to fight Nick Diaz, Nate Diaz, Conor McGregor after this to finish out I mean, man, it's gonna be a tough night for him. Jake Matthews wins by however he wants. I love Diego. I would love to see him be able to pull off an upset. I just don't see it happening. I just think Jake Matthews is too well-rounded, too young, too whatever. What, second round? Maybe give Diego a round. I don't know. Maybe second round finish. I feel bad. I hate picking against Diego, but
yeah. So I'm gonna take, since we all I think know how this fight's gonna go, I'm gonna take this moment to just show a little appreciation to Diego Sanchez. My guy has been a professional MMA fighter since 2002. He has over 30 fights in the UFC. He's got 10 professional stoppage wins, 6 professional submission wins, and 13 wins coming by way of decision. We appreciate him very much for what he's done for the sport. But unfortunately, if you're in the UFC, it doesn't really work like it does in the NBA. You can't ride out a contract in the NBA on a championship contender and shoot threes a couple of times a game. If you're in the NFL, even, you probably shouldn't be old and continue playing. If you're in the NHL, maybe you can play a little bit of an enforcer role. But if you're going on record right before your fight saying, hey, this is my last contract, I just want to ride it out. I'm looking to have a good time. I'm excited to be past the violence and past the fight game and start doing this other stuff. And then at the same time, you're calling out guys that you're not going to fight. I think I honestly don't. I just don't want him to get really hurt and not even be able to ride out the rest of his contract. And my prediction is that he gets knocked out in the first round and actually doesn't, after this fight, get to ride out the rest of his contract. I mean, if he gets badly beaten and hurt, then I don't think Dana's going to let him fight. I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, he's a good fighter, but I think there's definitely a chance that he gets takes a while to get recovered from this fight.
I mean, sorry, everybody remember the Matt Brown knockout and how horrible that looked? That's what I'm worried is going to happen again.
Yeah. If I was him, I don't think I would have taken this fight, but I know that's not how those guys at the top think.
For sure. One thing that I found interesting about this fight, or about Diego Sanchez in particular, was that he's never lost via submission in all of his fights. So I thought that was pretty crazy. And Jake Matthews has 7 wins by submission. So, that's just something to take into account, from a betting perspective, because, I mean, obviously, you're probably not going to – Jake Matthews is unparlayable. You're not going to play him. I don't even know what the odds are now, but it's ridiculous.
I found it at 700.
Is that 700? Yeah. Okay, yeah, see, I'm good, y'all. You guys can have fun with that one. But maybe, I might sprinkle a sub victory for Jake Matthews on there. Maybe he just, hurts him on the feet, and then he just starts, turtling up or something, just covering up like that. I don't know. Jake Matthews, I'll take him via submission, the first ever sub win against Diego Sanchez. Go ahead, Damage.
Man, what can you say? I mean, look, props to Diego Sanchez. Like you said, he's been fighting since 2002. The guy was on season 1 of The Ultimate Fighter. I mean, he's beaten the ranks of Kenny Florian, Nick Diaz. I mean, the guy's been in there with everybody. Unfortunately, I think he's come to the end of the line, and it's probably not going to end very well for him. About the only, I think Jake Matthews wins fairly easily. I don't know if he submits him. I see this going to the judges, and Jake Matthews, dominant decision. That's Jake Matthews by decision.
I was gutted to see on Embedded Sanchez is being cornered by his guru once again. I think that was the nail in the coffin, really, if there wasn't one already. The DQ win over Pereira was kind of humiliating for Sanchez, and I don't know how many more weight division changes he can do at this point in his career. I do think we're reaching the end, as horrible as it is. And it gets to the point where I'm more concerned about his health at this point. Matthews is on a 2-fight win streak, which is enough to justify me picking him to win by decision. I'm not quite sold on his finishing abilities at the moment, especially bearing in mind he hasn't been submitted apparently. So I'll go with Jake Matthews for this one. Quite an easy pick.
Yeah, I mean, this is all self-explanatory, really. It's just a case of how Jake gets it done. With no disrespect to Diego, I mean, obviously he's been around the game for such a long time, but however Jake wants to get it done, get it done. I see it going to the judges, but hopefully we won't need that sort of controversial, judges' scorecards. I think we will see a convincing win for Jake Matthews via decision. Maybe he could get a late round submission in the third round, obviously if Diego starts to tire. But again, I'm going for Jake Smith via a decision.